Good morning, guys. So it's another day, another week. So this is another Sunday for our weekly forecast. So this is currently like the last week of July, Saturday, Sunday, 26th of July, 2026. So without much yapping, let's just get into the video. So we always do the first thing first. We always want to look at our forest factory to know which news we have for the week. So last week we had this news, just only that. So this week we have quite like interesting a quite interesting week. So we have FMC on Wednesday. So yeah, but we have red folder and orange folder news. So there will be volatility in the market. But on Monday, no news. Then on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we do have news. So it's not like we are like using this news to trade. We are just using it as our roadmap to volatility. Like, okay, what we are expecting is the market going to move um in a volatile way, or we are going to have a slow week. So, but we do have red folder news and orange folder news. We don't use this as criteria for entries and trades. No, we only just use it for knowing if we will have a dry week or not. But looking at what we have, we do have one of the three big news, which is FOMC on Wednesday. So maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday might be like caution days. Then maybe Thursday, Friday we can arrange. But with that being said, if I still see my entry on Monday, on Tuesday, I do enter. Then hopefully, because most times before the news, my price has already moved and I'm already at breakeven. So anything that occurs at that point, I'm safe. But yeah, let's just hop onto the charts. So last week was dry. We didn't have any trade. Hopefully from next month we should start seeing good setup. Yeah. But since this month, I think I took one trade and it was a loss, and it was actually a bad trade. Like after doing my review, it was actually a bad trade from the beginning of buyers actually, because there was no clear buyers and I was not supposed to enter that trade. And then my emotions were also involved. So I've learned my lesson. So let's start with volatility. This is just like a pair that I'm just, it's not like it's a pair that I am actively trading. I'm just testing it out. But even so, I'm still testing it out. I still need to do like what they call it, analysis on it. Yeah, to improve, because that's how I was able to get the other pairs. So looking at the monthly time frame, like we are still on this um um what will I call it, this bearish move, because of we I think I need to put in that marker on. Yep, I think this is okay. So we disrespected this fair value gap that was there, that we disrespected. So the next place that price is likely to go to is this swing low. So yeah, so that's, with that being said, my bias is bearish, so I am bearish. So the every other thing I'm going to be doing from the time frame lower should be in alignment with this bias, that okay, I'm bearish. Because look at, like, understanding my strategy, if we fail to offer fair value at the fair, like if as price came into this fair value gap, we're supposed to have seen like upward movement, but no, we are disrespecting it totally. Like, see, you're disrespecting it. So the next period that price should likely go to is this swing low here that we have here. So that is why my bias is actually like bearish. So yes, So with that being established, the next thing we should do is to move to is to look for our narrative. Yeah, very very important. We always, like, after we get our buyers, the next thing that we always do is to look for our narrative. So we've already established our buyers on the monthly time frame. So the next thing is to look for our narrative. So we can go down to the weekly time frame. Now, this weekly, like, let me see, this was like a level I was hoping that price would come into and trade off, but we see that we did not do that. Like, let me just use the word snod, and we started pushing to the downside. So is this still a valid level that price can come? Yeah, but I do not totally expect it to do so, because currently we are disrespecting this previous, like, this candle, this current candle that is printing is disrespecting this previous, candles low. And understanding disrespect and respect, like candlestick logic, this next candle should expand lower. So this is like the idea. So that next week candle, starting from, let's say, today by 10 p.m., because this particular market, their opening time is always 10 p.m., like for the next candle. So the next candle, which is opening by 10 p.m. today, should expand to the downside. So you can say that the monthly and the weekly, they are all aligned in bearish. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for this particular candle that is printing out to close. So if you close below this low, yeah, so the next candle should expand lower. So am I expecting price to come back to this weekly fair value gap and then like come back and then start moving? It can happen, but it's not like I'm 100% expecting that to happen. So it's just for me to just still keep and be watching price. Yeah, that is the only thing I can do. I just have to be watching price and be adapting. So we have this level here that we are putting into consideration, but it is not my perfect narrative. So going out to the daily time frame. So currently, so last week, during this week, yeah, we had this fair value gap that price traded into, and you can see that we respected it. And currently now, if today's candle close and we then create this fair value gap here, then I will likely be interested in this particular fair value gap than interested in this weekly fair value gap. So price can then move lower from this place to the downside as my narrative. So I am more interested in this daily fair value gap that is about to be created. Yet it's not yet created, but once it is created, then I am more interested in it. So that is just it. So we've been able to build our bias and narrative. So the next thing, we just have to wait for price to just start to completely close and create this daily fair value gap, and then we can then look for entries from that point. So if price maybe taps into it and disrespects it, you can see upward movement. Then if price comes to this swing high here, I can look for sales from there. If price then does not respect that swing high and starts moving to the upside, then likely we are going to move lower from this weekly fair value gap. So we need to see like these important daily PDRAs to be disrespected before I can then decide that, oh, okay, that then the weekly fair value gap is a more likely potential narrative we can use. So we need to disrespect this fair value gap, and if we disrespect it, the next PDRA that we can move lower from is this swing high here. If we disrespect this swing high, then this is where we can listen. But for now, I am more interested on the daily time frame for my narrative. So yeah, so we can set our alerts. Yep. So our alert has been set. So let's look at BTC. And so BTC has like, now I'm just waiting for this candle to close in the next 5 days. Then I'm then potentially happy to take a sell. So we are creating this this monthly fair value gap on the monthly time frame. So if you look down to the lower time frame, like the weekly and daily, you see that price has not been like giving. We've been having fair value gaps failing to hold or not holding properly, like we have deep retracement, and that is not what we want to see. So we are likely waiting for this fair value gap to form. So I'm waiting for this fair value gap to form in the next 5 days. Then I think I have a setup, because now why will I take this monthly fair value gap? You can see that like in the previous price we've been bearish, like we've have bearish order flow, like we had this one, we had this one, and then we are having this one now that's been created, so I want price to come and then move lower to continue the bearish movement. So um so this is like what I'm just waiting for on BTC. Yeah, so there's actually nothing much to do. Yep, there's actually nothing much to do on BTC, even on the weekly time frame. At this point where we completed this weekly context, I was like, okay, price should oh sorry price should come to this swing high, because there was no fair value gap in this other flow leg. It was a low probability other flow leg. So I was like, okay, we can go lower from this swing high. So this has been my expectation. So price should come to that swing high and then trade lower. So this was what I've been waiting for, but you can see that price has been consolidating. We've not had any real movement and taking any fair value gap on the daily time frame. Like you can see that we had, like if you look at these daily time frames, daily fair value gap, we have like deep retracement into it. See this one, see this one, see this one being disrespected. So because of this monthly fair value gap we are creating, so the only thing we have to do is just to wait for this month's candle to close in the next 5 days. Then we can then know our next step. So if we do close, like we do have something like this, I'll be so happy, because then price can then manipulate into this monthly fair value gap and also sweeping out this that weekly swing high, that then price starts moving down. So this is just like what I just want to see. Then if price starts moving down, I look for my entry and enter. So it's as simple as that. So just for me to just wait. So it's just for me to wait for this month's candle to close. So this is just like what we are expecting. So nothing much. So this week I just pray that this week we consolidate, like we consolidate in the remaining 5 candles, like the remaining 5 daily candles that we are supposed to print. We consolidate, and then if I see that and then price manipulates, because this monthly fair value that was created is very easy to retrace back into. We manipulate into it and then we then distribute to the downside. Very simple. So that's just all we want to see. So yeah, let's look at gold. This year gold has been like, let me just use the word rubbish. I was doing like a study. Gold has been not giving, like not giving. So if you look at gold, we We disrespected this swing low. This is a swing low, yeah. We disrespected that swing low. And if you see currently now, we are creating like a bearish fair value gap here. The next period that price is likely to draw to is this fair value gap. We have a fair value gap here, so this is like a draw on liquidity. This is like a draw on liquidity. A draw on liquidity. So this fair value gap is like a draw on liquidity for me. Yeah. So we might likely trade back into this fair value gap that is being created now and then move to the downside. So the same thing that I'm actually thinking on BTC, I'm waiting for this month's candle to close, because look at if you are looking for setups on the weekly, or we are looking for narrative on the weekly and daily, we will not see anyone that is of high probability. That is just it. So why would we take low probability narratives when we can just wait? So I think let me mark this level up. So we have this monthly thing being created. So we disrespected this. So the first draw liquidity is supposed to be this month's low, this previous candle's low, this one here. Then before that, fair value gap that we have at this point here. So that is just it. So if you look at the weekly time frame, you can see that we are just consolidating. So what price can do is that because we respected this swing low, we might come to this swing high and then indirectly like tapping into that monthly fair value gap. Then you can see sales to the downside. So you can see even on the daily, you might see that this daily fair value gap is holding, but it's not something I'm going to be interested in, except the only reason why I will take buys is if we create like another fair value gap like this, then I will be interested, and this will be during the next month opening candle. Yeah. So but for now we are not taking any trade or any setup. We are just waiting for this month's candle. You can see that we have been consolidating, like see, consolidating. So if we close, I want to see like price manipulate and then distribute. So the same analogy we have on BTC. So yeah. So let's go to the last pair that we have, which is silver. So I think silver and gold is directly correlated, so I'm not going to spend much time on that. Oh, my network. My network is kind of bad. It's going to make this video long. So that's crazy. network is really bad though. I think I should end the, but on silver I am actually expecting the same thing on gold, and the same thing that has been happening on gold, like this what will I call it, this fair weather gap that has been created, the disrespect of a swing low, and then the draw liquidity being on the bearish side is the same thing I'm expecting on silver. My network is bad, and yeah, my network is a bit bad, so that's why I think this is not loading. I want to see if I can get it up with okay. Oh, still have, okay. Mm. Yeah, I do still have. Let me switch it up. Sorry, video is no longer than expected, so I don't know if this is going to work. Mm, you should. Yeah, it should. Yeah. Okay. So, sorry. On silver, you can see that on the monthly time frame, um, we disrespected this um we disrespected this swing low by this candle, and we are creating like this fair value gap. So I'm going to be using gold like as a confidence for any trade I take on silver. Like, let me just use it that way. But like the same idea I do have on gold is the same thing that I have on silver. Just that on silver we were able to like trade into this fair value gap. You can see that it's kind of looking as if it's a rejection, but now we are creating like an opposite mostly fair value gap. So I don't know if this is a good thing or not, but we have to just wait and see. That is just it. We just have to wait and see. Yeah. But consequently, on the weekly time frame, there is absolutely nothing. We have absolutely nothing. That this network is really bad. Shit. Well, on the weekly time frame is still consolidating. I think I'm going to end like the forecast, but like whatever I forecasted on gold is the same thing on silver. Just that I think silver is a bit weaker than gold. So that's why I said I'm going to be using, if I'm taking any trade on silver, I'm going to be using gold as like an extra like confidence or something. So yeah, in terms of like the weaker or the stronger one. Yeah, I always want to short the weaker one and leave the stronger one, or long the stronger one and leave the weaker one. So that is just it. So that is just it for my weekly forecast. So I wish you all like a profitable week. Yeah, and yeah, stay consistent and disciplined. So catch you guys in the next one.